All right, everybody, I got a real treat in store for you. Today, I have an opportunity to sit with Sunny Narang. I'm really going to kind of push some buttons and see if we can get to know him on a personal level, see what drives him, see what keeps him up at night, and kind of talk about his success and his journey so far. All right, so stay tuned. Here he comes. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Sold As Is. Today, I have an amazing opportunity to sit with Sunny Narang. Sunny, welcome to our
Thanks,
podcast.
man.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you here. And thanks for coming. I really wanted to spend a little bit of time with you and just kind of share a little bit about your journey. I've known you for a while. Awesome to be in business with you now. But I really want to give our audience and everybody out there just a chance to get to know you because
Okay.
everybody sees you on the outside, but today I wanted to get them to see the Sunny on the inside.
All right.
Sound good?
Let's do it.
Good. So let's just jump in. I mean, let's talk about your beginning.
Yeah.
I remember meeting you, CrossFit gym. You were working with another broker, kind of underneath him. And I was trying to recruit you to come over to Keller Williams, and you wouldn't go. And I was like, why are you there? And it was, I'm getting leads, Tom. I'm getting leads. And you couldn't walk away from those leads in the beginning, yeah?
Right.
Tell us a little about that.
I've always felt that real estate was kind of outdated, and I wanted to cut corners and get leads and just get easy transactions. So I felt like that was the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But eventually, I wanted to do that on my own.
Got you. Yeah, and then I remember probably a couple of years later, you called me for another broker who left me and went to open up his own place, and you sent me a DM. Hey, can I get his number? And I was like, oh no, this guy's on the move out. And I was like, well, check us out.
Yeah.
And obviously you went there, and I know why you went there, but that was great. How many people did you go there with?
So I went with four agents
Four
and
agents.
one assistant.
Wow.
And I didn't want a big team at the time because I came from 50 people, and I was like, I'm just gonna do my own thing now.
Yeah.
So I wanted just a small group, and then we just kind of blew up. It was the same thing again.
Yeah. What were some of the key takeaways from being over there at the first brokerage? What did you learn? Like, what were some of the? I want to say I thought he had his thumb on you, but
Yeah.
you were really honing your skills
Yeah. Yeah.
undercover because that's how I look on the outside looking in at you. That's how I see it. I think you were the little maestro over there, kind of like just, oh yeah, let me learn what I can and perfect it. Yeah.
So I learned systems really well.
Yeah.
I learned obviously how to close a lot of deals. So I did about 400 transactions there. So I kind of figured out A to Z how to do real estate. But I didn't do many sellers. So when
Okay.
I went on my own, I wanted to do mainly sellers.
Got you. What made you want to leave? I mean, at 400 transactions, do you think like that's a gold mine? Why would I want to leave for
I
something like
was
that?
selling 50 homes a year, making 500,000. I'm like, this is a lot of work for 500,000. So I wanted to go to a cap structure.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that was kind of the big move out that way.
Yeah.
And then you went over there
Yeah.
and you grew from four to how many?
So 2021, we went from 4 to 20 agents.
Okay.
We sold 104 properties, about 100 million. And then I decided to go really big. And then we got to 60 agents. We sold 298 properties, about 250 million. And then I wanted to go bigger. And now we have 400 agents
Yeah,
doing about 600 million.
that's crazy.
Thank you.
So back before you left to the leadership role at Keller Williams, how many agents did you leave that brokerage to go to Keller Williams with?
We came with four.
From the first brokerage to
Yeah.
Equity Union,
Yeah.
and then from Equity Union you grew to how many
It
agents
was
there?
about 20.
So about 20.
Yeah.
Got you. And then you met Chris. Where was that process of
So
meeting Chris?
Chris's wife, Lauren, was actually my first agent. She was my assistant, then my agent. And then I met Chris, and he's like, hey, I want to do the same. She's making a lot of money. I've got four jobs. I want to do real estate. So that's kind of how this all worked out. And I
Got you.
realized early on that Chris is a really good admin. He's got his systems down. He's very organized.
Yeah.
So I try to bring him on the staff with me.
Yeah, that was, I was kind of wanted to talk about that a little later, but I'll bring it up now. I was reading a book, Patrick Ben-David's Choose Your Enemies Wisely.
Yeah.
And one of the things he talked about was every great company has like an emotional person, and then they have a logistic person,
Right.
and then they have somebody who puts all of that together. And as I was reading that, I realized that's like you, Chris, and Tomic.
Yeah.
Like, was that purposeful or was that organic? Like, tell me.
It Kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I like them a lot. That's why we work together. But we're different skill sets. I
Yeah.
think that's why we blend so well together.
Yeah, because I was just like, as he was talking about Bill Gates and these other guys, and I was like realizing like, wow, that's I think how you leveled up so
Right.
fast was obviously I feel you're the emotional,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
go,
Let's
you know, that's you. And yet Chris is kind of like, okay, let me create the roadmap. And then Tomic's the guy that kind of organizes
Right.
and balances you guys out. And I think that that's kind of awesome,
Yeah. I
you
learned
know?
early that I wasn't good at everything, and I tried to be good at everything, but I just wasn't. So I just delegated the tasks I wasn't good at, which is a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I just focused on what I was good at.
yeah. So what are you good at?
I'm good at recruiting. I'm good at sales. I like driving production.
Yeah,
The rest of the stuff is not my forte.
got you. And that's where Chris and obviously Tomic come in.
Yeah.
So you're now the guru of real estate. Gary Keller gives you a buzz one day, or like how did that happen? Tell us.
Yeah,
Like,
so he reached out saying that he was looking to partner back up and open a KW. And I was like, wow, Gary's calling me. This is crazy. And so I went to go meet him in Austin. We had a long conversation, and sitting down with a billionaire, you're like, this guy is really intelligent. Like, this guy knows what he's talking about, and he's very convincing. So I went to go back to KW. I didn't realize that there was so much to do with owning a brokerage and being the team leader as well.
yeah,
So that just wasn't for me at the time.
got you, got you. And then you also coach with Tom Ferry
Yeah.
personally too,
A little
or
bit.
a
I've
little.
been with them for about 7 years,
Yeah,
but I've had coaching from Tom. He's great.
yeah.
He's really good for mindset stuff.
So how did you like how important it is for an agent? Maybe share with everybody like the importance of having a coach like that. Was it uh how do I say this, like driving you to hit new goals? Were
Yeah.
you without that, would you have maybe had a smaller mindset? Did they
So
see in you?
my third year, I sold less homes than my second year. I'm like, hold up, I'm working harder. I'm way better. Why am I making less money? And I just wasn't working on my systems. I wasn't working on my craft. And my friends like, get a coach. I'm like, I don't need a coach. I'm the GOAT.
Yeah,
And he's like, everybody has a coach. Kobe's got a coach. Michael Jordan has a coach. I'm like, well, that's a good point.
yeah,
And so I listened. I got a coach. And at first, I fought everything that he said. But he's like, Sonny, listen, man, I've helped people get from here to here. Just be coachable.
yeah,
So that year, I went all in on coaching. I listened to him. I took notes, and we really just went crazy with sales.
gotcha. And then when you left, obviously Keller Williams, how big was your team then?
When we left Keller Williams the first time to go to Equity,
No, no, no. To go when you when you actually left leadership there as a you know, Encino,
we had 60.
you had 60
Yeah,
agents that you took with you, and then you laid them on top of the real brokerage
yeah.
platform. How did that come about?
We were looking for a company that had less fees, that was very tech heavy, that I thought had other ways to make money, which they have rev share, they've got stock options, and I came across Real and EXP.
Okay,
So I felt like at the time, Sharon, the president, was the person I wanted to mirror. He's very smart. He's also Indian, and I was like, this is the guy. So we kind of transitioned over here.
gotcha. I mean, do you see Sharon as like the new Gary Keller?
I think he's very influential right now. I
Yeah,
think he's very smart, and I've learned that I don't love sales as much as I love building business and scaling.
gotcha.
And he's done that a bunch of times, so
Yeah.
he's kind of the guy that I wanted to get mentored by.
Yeah, I remember, I coached with Patrick Ferry, Tom's brother, and I remember um, Patrick telling me, "Hey, there's a market interrupter coming back into real
Right?
estate." He took Telus and built it up and sold
Yeah,
it for a bunch of money. Don't be afraid when this guy comes to town because he's going to take some market
for
share.
sure.
And obviously, I was sitting on the sidelines watching you. We had a talk about doing some business, and I didn't come. But when I saw you do that, and I realized that, wow, he's laying this on top of the platform, that this market interrupter, I was really intrigued. And I knew that, like, I remember when the other brokerage came into town here in the valley, and it was like this new red Porsche, and it was exciting, and I felt like I missed the boat. I got in kind of late, but with this new Porsche that came into town, I was like, oh, I'm not missing the boat this
Yeah,
time. And I came aboard with you, and I remember like you said you wanted to grow, I guess to the 60 agents. I think when I came in June, you were like at 140,
yeah, yeah.
and you're like, Tom, I need you. We're gonna get to 300, and like within 60 days, you were like at the end of the year, and it was like 60 days. What what how does that happen? Like, Share.
You got to document everything. So you got to use social media to capture that. You have to show what's working. You have to show agents growing year over year. And then you have to treat them like family. You have to care about them, and
Yeah.
with that, organically will come.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of like recruiting? Like, I mean, I remember at KW, it was the 210 method or, two agents, 10
Yeah,
a month, whatever, however, 210/40 is how it went. Do you have a model that you're going or you're just connecting with people?
I try to connect with people. I do a lot of social media, do a lot of DMs, message them.
Yeah.
But we also have a lot of agents bringing their friends with them, which helps out.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, so now we're here, 2025 forecast?
For the team or for myself?
Both.
Okay. For the team, we want to get to 5,000 agents. We want to be the number one team in the country for any brokerage, which I think we will be. Um, and then for myself, I just want to continue eating a healthy lifestyle, going to the gym every day, see my family more often, and I want to be fully out of production.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't want to sell homes. I don't want to open doors. Like I'm done.
Gotcha, gotcha. And about the office, I mean, we're here in the Sherman Oaks
Yeah.
Galleria. Are we heading to Beverly Hills anytime
No,
soon
I
or
love the
anything
valley,
like
man.
that?
Less traffic, no parking fees. It's good.
I got you. Cool. Um, what keeps you up at night?
I just love growing. I love getting better every day personally as a team. I love seeing my agents succeed. That makes it really fun for me.
Yeah. But like, is there anything that like just like I can't sleep because of X? And it's okay
Um,
if there's not, but just is there anything
I
that,
don't like when I make mistakes.
okay,
So
I love that.
when it's my mistake that I should have not done that really hurts me. But hopefully I don't make that same mistake twice.
Yeah.
So I'm not the guy that gets an escrow and they're happy about the escrow. I'm the guy that when they lose an escrow, they're like, I messed up for this reason and I can't fall asleep for that.
That's funny. I have a lot of that too. I own everything that goes wrong. If I'm late for an appointment or I miss something,
Yeah,
I'm so upset with myself that it's like I'm never gonna let that happen. I remember going on a listing appointment or had a listing appointment, totally forgotten. The seller called me and said, "Hey, are you coming?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And I went over there and I was upset myself for like months. I just couldn't forgive myself
yeah.
that I didn't. I ended up getting the listing, but like I couldn't forgive myself for a long time. I seem you kind of have that same.
Yeah, and that's one of the negative things about me. I dwell on the losses too, which I shouldn't. But when I was a kid, we lose in sports. I talked about the shot I missed all the time, and
Yeah,
that's not the right mindset to have.
yeah. With now talking about that as a kid, I mean, you grew up with humble beginnings, yeah?
Yeah, we grew up in a one-bedroom apartment, for all four of us, and I watched my dad do pretty well later in life, and I wanted to emulate that. And I want to retire when I'm 40, so I'm
Okay,
trying to get it all done right now.
I love that. And we were talking a couple days ago about a story where dad threw you out of the house.
Yeah, I was 24, never had a job. He's like, "Give me the credit card back." I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you don't love me?" He's like, it's time for you to grow up." So
Yeah.
that's kind of when I kicked my life into gear.
And that was right around real estate, or were you already doing real estate at
No,
that time?
I didn't have my license. I didn't have a job. Kicked me out. So I moved to LA with my ex girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, "Why don't you do real estate? You love talking already." I'm like, "I do love talking." And
Yeah.
like, "Is it easy?" She's like, "I'm sure it's easy. It's on TV." So I
Yeah.
got my license, and the rest is history.
Gotcha. What do you like to do for fun?
I love watching sports. I love selling homes. I love business.
Yeah,
I
but
love traveling.
outside of real estate, like I know you play basketball.
Basketball, football. I love traveling.
Yeah,
Going to Mexico tonight.
yeah, Mexico City
Yeah,
bound.
yeah.
I love that. And what is some of the freedoms that real estate has given you?
I get to pick my own schedule for the most part. Um, I can I don't have to go to the store and look at the price tag all the time, be worried about do I have enough money to buy this. I bought my mom a car, I helped my sister with college, and those are some of the good things.
Oh, those are awesome things to do.
Yeah.
What about like um sphere of influence, friends? You get a lot of referral business coming in now,
I
stuff
get a
like
lot of
that.
referrals. I'm not from LA, so I don't have a big sphere here, and my friends are just starting to get married and buy their first home, so that's been good, but I've never really had a big sphere. I did get a bunch of referrals early on.
Gotcha, makes sense. Uh, if you were a new agent and somebody out there in the audience is looking at you and they're like, what would be some advice that you would want to give a new agent right now?
I would find a mentor, someone that you relate to, so it's easy to talk to them. I would copy their schedule and I would see what they do to prospect.
Okay.
And I would try to shadow them on appointments, on showings, on listing appointments, on open houses, and just see how they interact with people.
Yeah,
And I would do that with a few different people to see what fits you the best.
got you. Um, I know I always say like with the new agents that like there's work to learn and then there's work to earn. And it kind of seems like, hey, that you're kind of the same mindset. Like in the beginning, you're going to work to learn. Maybe you're giving up something with a mentor, but then at some point you master that skill, and then you're working to earn.
Yeah, I was on a 38% split my first couple years, and I didn't care at all because I was learning, I was selling homes, I got to sit next to top producers, and that was what I cared about.
Yeah,
Because I figured it later in my life when I was experienced, I would get a higher split.
and then sure enough,
Yeah,
did you always have a knack for success? Like there's certain people they're just cut different. Did you feel like
I'm very competitive, and I don't like to lose, and I feel like whatever I did, I would give it my all, and if I didn't wasn't the best, I would quit that and move on to the next. And luckily, I'm good at real estate, so I didn't have to quit. But um, I just went till I couldn't lose.
gotcha? And if you were a mid-size agent now, so an early
Yeah.
Sunny, what advice would you give to like an agent who's he's probably doing 20 deals a year. He's doing good, but I want to like catapult, launch it up a little bit. What would be something you would want to tell that person?
I would drop the ego, I would lower the ego, and I would network with agents that are producing more than me and see what they're doing differently, seeing how they go around their busy day, see what objections they're getting, seeing how they run their P&Ls, what expenses they're cutting. And I really just go off of that and listen.
Um, I don't know if maybe I'm the only one who sees this, um, or maybe this was purposeful or organic for you, but like I remember, and if people that watch the podcast, they're hearing me a lot talk about team bridge
Yeah,
model. Was that something you're in your vision, or did this just organically
no,
happen for you?
day one. So I was like, the future of real estate from day one is big teams that generate leads. Because I would go to different events in Alabama, one in Florida, and I'm seeing these teams of like 100 agents doing, you know, two, three transactions a month every agent. I'm like, there's got to be a way for us to do this too. Just because they're in a different state doesn't mean we can't do that. So I want to grow a big team. I want everyone to share what's working with each other. I think that that's the future. The days of kind of cold calling and door knocking, open houses still work, but there's quicker ways to get into production, and that way you don't get burnt out.
Gotcha. And are you guys masterminding at like innovative ideas? Like I know we just brought like Real Scout on. Like
Yeah.
where does all these pushing the envelope, new tech come from?
So I try to go to every event that I can, but you don't really learn much at the event at this level. What you do learn is at those private masterminds and the dinners, and after the drinks come out, everyone's kind of sharing what's actually working, and I never talk. I ask a question, I just shut my mouth and I listen, and then I'm taking notes on my phone of what they're saying. And the drunker everyone gets, the more gems they drop, and it's literally like gold.
That is amazing.
So I was listening to these two guys talk about real estate, and they're like, "This is the future. We're getting this many sales from like, what is it called again?" And I wrote it down, and I just kept listening, and we just implement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a big shift in client interaction
Right.
just from that with my own clients now that we're on that. I guess we'll kind of wind this down, Sonny. Any like future thoughts for 2025, market forecast? Where do you see the market going that you could say based upon the data that you have in the behind the scenes?
Well, can't get any worse than this year for sure. So I think that there'll be a lot more inventory. I think the rates will come down. I just saw on TV that they've come down 3 weeks in a row now, which is a good sign.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be about a 5% appreciation back to like the normal rate in LA.
yeah,
And I think that, I mean, obviously the price points are still going up, which is good,
yeah,
but agents just have to get really focused on what they're good at, right?
yeah.
Like if you're not good at cold calling, don't cold call. If you're really good at open houses, do open houses all the time. So next week we're gonna do business planning. I think that's really important for agents too.
Gotcha.
Have a goal and chase after it.
I feel like now more than ever we're moving into a skills-based market
Yeah,
where people have to know. I think before it was easy, anybody could sell a house, and now with the whole buyer broker agreements and just the lack of inventory, I mean it's growing, but it's still a lot less than what we have. I think we're really building or moving into a skills-based market. Would you agree?
yeah. I think what's really important is you have to work on the business as opposed to always in the business. Like just like a basketball game, you don't just play the game. In the off season, you train. You have to eat right. You have to watch tape and film.
Yeah,
It's the same as real estate. Like you should spend just as much time getting good at your craft as in the field.
yeah, I love that. Good. All right, hey Sonny, I know you got to head out on a plane pretty soon. You're heading out. I really appreciate you taking the time. Hey, you guys, if you have any questions for Sonny or I, make sure to reach out. Make sure you like and subscribe for future episodes, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.